Two. Welcome, everyone, to Star Trek Starfleet Commander Ryan Pirates. I am Takeshi Yamato, joining our host, Housecoat Gamer. Today we are looking at... we're doing a wish list. Ship design, the ships we want, the Klingon ships we want in Star Trek Online.
As you can tell, this is Ryan Pirates Plus.
Yep.
And we have some weird ones for you.
Yes, these are... Oh my word.
Yep. Welcome to the weird ones. This is the emergency battleship for Starfleet battles, which Starfleet Command's battle system is primarily based on. Lore for the ship is simple. There weren't enough B-10s to go around, so they just retrofit a smaller hull, put in massive pods with a lot of reactors, and slapped a massive head onto the boom.
And it almost looks like there's a couple extra nacelles in there, too.
Yeah, that's how SFB boats work. More nacelles means more power.
Yep, and there's another one with two extra nacelles. Oh, jeez.
And then, of course, there's an SFC Orion Pirates X ship, which doesn't really count, but hey, it deserves an honorable mention. Maybe do something with it.
Yeah.
And speaking of honorable mentions, here's another one. Similar in design. The Dreadnought.
Yeah, it looks like it's just got a single nacelle.
Yeah, that's kind of how it's. But these are honorable mentions because, one, a lot of these ships actually exist in Starfleet Command. They just have different scales.
Yeah.
And we would be remiss not to point out, one, a lot of starships actually owe their existence and design to Starfleet battles.
So, yeah, this is our nod to that.
Honorable mentions. Well, it would be nice to have some SFB boats. It's probably not going to happen.
Yeah. Probably not.
So, moving on.
D4. Full talk, that's already there.
The
D4.
This ship has been done somewhat dirty. And I don't mean the fact that she has dirty textures in Home Track. I mean the fact that the Koro Katinga, while a nice homage, is not the D4. This ship has not been seen in Trek. Well, she was supposed to.
Yeah.
Look, everybody hates Unexpected. Me, I don't like it because they just reused a Katinga model. Granted, they didn't have time to model the D4, so...
If it works, it works. But yeah.
It would be nice to have an actual D4 instead of a pseudo D4.
Yeah. And this is...
The D5. Technically, this is playable in STO, but as the cargo freighter variant, which is...
Yeah.
Moronically over here.
Yeah.
Which looks even crappier. Because rust.
Yeah.
But we want this beauty. With the big disruptor cannons in the belly.
Yeah.
Now, the D4 is a frigate? Maybe. This might serve actually as a pretty good Raptor. They share the same design similarities as the Samra.
Yeah. The only difference is I think the Samra wings are swept up.
I think that spoils the look. I mean,
yeah.
the Von Talk looks better with her wings down. I think that's just a standard Klingon thing. If the wings are down, all is good.
Yeah.
But yeah, this would make an excellent Raptor, and it's technically in-game as a TOS version. That's a twofer.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not particularly sure how to handle something like this. Maybe a scout ship.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, that was the Samra, and as I said, wings were swept up.
I'm not sure what to do with any of the legacy boats, but we're more or less going to be moving on to the next, more important era, because this is the Klingons. They recycle all their ships for God knows how long.
Yep. And we are on to the TMP era.
Our initial plan wasn't going to work, so we shifted to something different. Which actually looks pretty good. This is the Insurrection class Bird of Prey.
Yep.
Fun fact, I adore this ship. It's a bigger Burrell with more guns.
And it looks neat, too.
And this would be an excuse for Cryptic to actually get off their rear ends and modify one of their models to serve as the Khud. Because quad disruptor cannons.
Yeah, that could easily work with the Norg or Norg and Ning Tao.
And it would be an excuse to beef up the TMP numbers a little bit.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be difficult to do. The Norg already resembles the Insurrection class to begin with. That's kind of why I like it.
Yep.
Of course, I would like to display these things in action, but something keeps crashing.
Yeah.
So, moving on. Next up on the wish list, a weird one, but not an unwelcome one.
The Relentless class.
Which may need a rename. The Kahos and all that. But
yeah,
I like the ship. I like the general concept. It's just the model needs some work.
Yeah, and it's a neat design with a single warp nacelle on top and the wings folding up into it.
There's a lot you could do with this. You could make her a light battle cruiser. A reskin for, say, the Tier 2 version.
The Katanka? Yeah.
Or make her a standalone frigate. Either way, the TMP era needs more boats.
Yeah, the TMP era needs more boats, and the Klingon and the original designs that were in the game at launch need more love too. And here we have the next one.
The Surao. A command cruiser. With 3 nacelles.
Yep.
The interplay Tal'Daran era was very weird, but lovable. And they were so faithful to TMP, unlike certain people. It's weird. It's wonderful. It would serve wonderfully as, say, a command cruiser. Perhaps a counterpart to the potential Lexington class? Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Make a bundle.
Yeah.
And maybe she would serve as a reskin for the Katenga. Because guess what her designation is?
D7.
D7M to be specific.
Yeah.
But that's just another ship to add to our list of boats that need to be in STO.
And here we have the Emperor class.
A heavy battle cruiser. Which, well, let's be honest, it's a simple frickin' thing to do. Look at how close she is to the D7. All you have to do is just add a couple warp nacelles and be done with it.
Yeah.
I realize that the modeling process would be a little more involved, and everybody would be adding more detail to it.
But still, it basic design would be very simple.
Very easy to do. And you get more people clamoring to play with the Klingons instead of the Feds.
Yeah.
I have no idea what kind of console would be on any of these ships, but I do know this. I'd play it.
Yeah. Next up.
The Bertha. Oh my god, she is ugly. But
That's for sure.
perhaps she would serve as a torpedo build cruiser. Have a console that goes, hi, I have a lot of torpedo launchers. If this console is active, I fire more torpedoes.
Yup.
Give it a trait that even says, torpedo launchers have an almost 0-second reload time. Make it tough, slow, but durable.
Yeah. Make it a mighty glacier.
And, as the ship appeared in Starfleet Academy, the game, not the show Kurtzman's trying to put up for STD,
Yeah.
it would be a nice nod to go, hi, we're respecting the dawn of the Golden Age.
And next up, we have the Accuser class. 4 nacelles on the bottom, 1 on the top.
Look at how close she resembles another ship from STO. Specifically the Klingon command cruisers. One has a quad nacelle design.
Yeah, fair enough. That could easily be legendary command cruiser, perhaps?
It'd be an excuse. 'Cause
Yeah.
look at the damn thing. All you have
Yeah.
to do is just solidify it a little.
Indeed.
She's even got the hangar slots for new fighters. We're not going to be including any of the fighters because, well,
Yeah.
name small craft that have become playable in the last 5 years.
3, 2,
The
1.
Sword of Chaos. If the Accuser was another easy one, this one's probably even easier. Just
Take the Accuser, turn that 1 nacelle up top into 2, and stick a giant disruptor lance on it.
this would even be an easier reskin. For model reasons and performance reasons, you could just take the Devron. Just take the Devron, give it a Klingon skin, turn the Disruptor Lance, turn the Phaser Lance into a Disruptor Lance, and be done with it.
Indeed.
In terms of complication, it doesn't need to be.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be all that complex. Just,
After all, most
It
ships in
works.
STO are just reskins of every other ship.
yeah. So it works.
And since they've got carte blanche, what's your
Yeah, since
excuse?
Yeah. Well, what's the excuse? Come on, do it. You know you want to.
We all want you to.
And now we have the Caral class from Armada and Armada 2. Well, from Armada 2 was when it first appeared. And despite the 4 nacelles, I started this thing for Star Trek Adventures, and despite the fact that it has 4 warp nacelles, I've set it as something kind of sluggish because, well,
Look
my
at the
head
thing.
can't. Yeah,
Those impulse engines are tiny.
yeah, and I've headcanoned this thing as an a mobile orbital bombardment platform designed after the Great Tribble Hunt, designed in the wake of the Great Tribble Hunt. It it has a lot of power, but it diverts most of that power into its weapon systems.
Perhaps another lance boat.
Yeah, another
And
lance.
it's pretty easy to make this one. You pretty much already have it in STO. The Klingon command cruisers.
Yeah,
All you have to do is just modify it a little bit.
yeah,
That's what you'd love about the Klingons. Their designs just work. A few minor
Yeah.
modifications over the years, all's good.
yeah. And yeah, this thing. Also, this might be a little balance breaking, but I could possibly also consider that if you wanted to cover the fact that it just has all sorts of weapons dedicated to potential to heavy bombardment, you could potentially give this thing. You could potentially make this thing the first Starship in STO to have a 5-5 weapons loadout.
That's probably unlikely, but hey.
It's an option. Okay.
Battle cruiser operational.
Yeah, it does look like a StarCraft battlecruiser.
You could make the Feklir a science battle cruiser. Something like perhaps a new subtype.
Yeah, I mean, in Armada and Armada 2, this thing is the special weapon boat. It also shows up in Starfleet Command 3 as just a generic ship, but still.
A
You
very
could use-
science-biased battle cruiser. Kind of like a science dreadnought, but for battle cruisers.
Yeah.
Weird. But not but there's no oh boy.
The Jack Yang.
I'm pretty sure there's no way you could do anything with this. It's a suicide ship.
Yeah, I mean, the best you could do would be like to make this an NBC vessel.
Have it summon, send out a subspace shockwave of death towards your enemies.
Yeah.
Maybe make that the Feklir's console. Summon the Jacking!
Possibly.
Gamma boat. I think that's the X-era ship.
Okay.
Fits.
The Cavort. We need this thing in STO. I mean, we have the Burrell, but
Statted as a heavy raptor. At least then you could excuse the wings and you could finally go, hey, let's fix the wings down on all birds of prey. Because they look better down.
yeah.
Neg.
Igvar. Probe.
There she is.
Sukjag! Ah, yes. One of my favorite designs from Armada and Armada 2. Because, well, this thing is designed to send troops to enemy ships. Those giant pods on the back.
Maybe that would be a console. Send over the boarding pods.
Yeah.
Screw over somebody's control systems. Like boarding party on steroids.
Yeah. And I will admit, this is another one that I've statted for Star Trek Adventures. Though, I altered the boarding pods a little bit. Instead of the 4 big pods on the top, I set it so that it had a bunch of pod launchers on the underside. Smaller pods, like escape pods, but designed for orbital re-entry and just it hovers over a target planet and shoots them downwards.
Death from above.
Yes. Yes. Orbital drops. And when I mentioned this, showed when I showed my design, my stat design on a Star Trek Adventures forum, someone compared it to a Space Marine battle barge.
Except this one is less than half the size, and well, I suppose that's a Tethys shipyard plug.
Yeah, possibly.
But
We could easily.
you could give this thing a Starship trait that goes enhances boarding parties to God tier,
Yeah.
for lack of a better term.
Yeah, we could easily do this thing as a Tethys shipyard design. I mean, I've already made it, but we could cover it. Maybe.
That's pretty much all the Klingon ships, though this would also make a nice NPC freighter, maybe another Kobayashi Maru, hint hint.
Yeah, it's a NPC freighter, maybe maybe one of those playable freighter things. The construction ship could certainly work.
But that is the Klingons.
And the starbase design. Oh yeah, that is. I like this. I like this design a lot. I would love to see this show up in STO somehow.
And that's pretty much all the Klingons. The Romulans probably have even more.
Yeah.
But we're not going to be discussing the Romulans today. Well,
No.
Minotake might not be discussing the Romulans at all.
There's a lot of stuff we can't discuss. Who knows if we'll get to them?
Bye bye.